Okay, there we go. I was like, did I
Did you
not
do
set
it?
up the thing?
Did you do it?
I did the thing.
Yay! Hello, world.
I'm the thing doer.
Perfect. Cool. Now let's go live.
Oh, too late. Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Remnant Gamer Podcast, first episode of season 3.
Fuck yeah.
Technically.
Technically.
What was that, my cue?
I don't know. Did you have horns or something?
My soundboard.
Oh.
Meow, 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 meow. And also thank you, Eden Wolf, for the raid.
Yay, raid.
Yay.
Welcome,
Shadow
Raiders.
Legends.
Welcome, Raiders. We are the Remnant Gamers. You know what? We've always said that we were Jacksonville's #1 premier broadcasted group, and this year we aim to prove it.
Very true.
I mean, it is true, though.
Bringing it back.
It is true.
I mean, we don't have the award, like, here to prove it.
Yes, we have received prestigious awards.
Technically, we kind of do.
Yeah.
Even though this one was mine, but it still is ours, so counts
Exactly.
enough.
It counts
That's
where
right.
it counts.
It
I'll
does.
allow it.
Oh, so coming off of our season 3 premiere where we had loads of fun.
And loads of indigestion.
Fucking right.
Yeah, that next day afterwards, oh man, I wasn't nauseous, but I just felt like my stomach just kept turning, like tumbling, and I was just like, what the hell is this?
Oh, yes.
I haven't been able to look at Oreos and condiments the same way, and all of which were left at my house, so I still haven't been able to look at them correctly.
Purposely.
Yes.
Because I did not want to take any of that shit home.
That shit has been like, vanished into a corner in my cabinet, and it's like, this is the no, don't look here corner.
I'm almost grateful, not almost, I'm grateful that my mother-in-law was in town and that I had to miss that.
I don't know. There were some surprising combinations that worked rather well.
I mean,
Yes.
I watched, I enjoyed, but yeah, I'm not a fan of having to eat things that are gonna, that I'm gonna regret later.
You never know if you're gonna regret that. The first episode of Remnant Eats, we didn't regret a single second of it.
God no.
And I walked into it expecting to regret the whole night.
I mean, that's fair, but at the same time, like I said, I saw and heard what you guys just said just now. So, and the excessive brightness in here is because I've been working on some shit like this. I was just showing everybody earlier the magic that is the new and improved Servo Studio with our topic list.
You believe in magic, and I hope you do.
It's actually
You always have a friend wearing big red shoes.
Frame and pick his own nose. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually I'll start setting these up around
This is dark magic. It is what it is.
What was that, Moose? What did you have? We couldn't see it.
I was gonna say I got some strip lights that eventually I'm gonna put up and around.
Oh, nice.
But this takes a lot of effort, and I actually got to get up there and do stuff. So I'm like,
I'll send to Ray. He likes hanging those up.
Nice.
I'm getting a phone call from nobody.
Room. Answer it.
It's too late now. I got a phone call from nobody. What in the world is going on?
I just saw Scream, and I wouldn't do that.
Bro, Sam.
Yeah, we also just saw Scream.
Oh,
and
did
I would
you?
absolutely do that.
Yeah, John and I saw it yesterday. That was yesterday,
play a game?
Right?
I was like, this is the wrong fucking movie, bro.
It's a meta movie that goes over movie franchises, so It fits.
It was,
fits.
and it was good. I don't care
Highly
who hated
recommend
it.
it.
So good.
Yeah, definitely go check it out.
It lambasted itself just as much as all the previous iterations of the series. And
my favorite thing, without spoiling anything for anybody who hasn't seen it, which not that there's a whole lot to spoil, but
it's a Scream movie.
It not only, and I like that word too. It poked fun at itself, but also all the people who shit talk all the different aspects of that movie. There were certain things, and if you watched it, you know what I'm talking about, that happened in certain situations that was like, oh wow, okay, they did that.
Yep.
Beautiful.
There were many tropes that it leaned into so hard with no payoff.
Yes.
On purpose. Like this wasn't like, oh, they just didn't pay it. No, it was they leaned into it excessively to zero payoff, and it was I almost touched myself in the theater. I was like, this is beautiful. I loved that movie so much.
Okay, Pee Wee Herman, calm down.
Hey, Betsy with the sub, yo.
That's a.
This is where we put the horns.
Betsy's been on the podcast before. In case you guys haven't checked that channel out, make sure you go check it out.
I think that's
Betsy has.
Along with
Go
the
ahead,
cast
Moose.
of emotional support Pikachus.
Yes.
I was going to say unrelated to gaming news, but pop culture news, because we do that too. I guess that's 3 Remnant thumbs up for the new Scream movie.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
And yeah, you can have my proverbial thumb because I'm not going to go see it, but I'll trust you guys' judgment.
What?
I don't do spoopy, remember?
I was going to say you don't do scary movies, do you?
Oh, I'm going to change that.
No, I'm prone to
not
nightmares.
That it's really a scary movie. It's more of a
Scream is
slasher
too meta
flick.
to be a scary movie.
I agree.
I give you that. I give you that.
It's one of those.
It still hasn't changed my mind.
Although I guess the truest way to do a scary movie that's not a scary movie in a meta sense is Cabin in the Woods. That's the most
right.
Fair.
That's the most not scary movie while also representing scary movies that you can have.
It's like templated horror.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah.
Whereas Scream, again, without giving away too much, what they did was they did exactly what all the fans were talking about doing, in many different ways of doing it, and then also disproved all the other ways that people were saying of doing it and being like, look, we could have done this, but see how shitty that is? You don't want that. All right, you want this.
God, yes.
Yeah.
It was too good.
Yeah.
Recommend going and seeing it.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I highly recommend going and seeing it.
Yeah.
And then
if you haven't watched the first 7, go watch those 2.
Yeah. Or at least the first
Scream movies?
At least the first 2 or 3.
Like, holy shit.
There's
a lot.
You
There's a lot.
You can just watch the first 2 and forget that 3 and 4 exist.
No, hell no. You got to watch the other ones. I mean, a lot of them are bad, but you got to watch them. You got to watch them. That's part of the lore is that it's bad.
There are a couple jokes in that movie that land harder if you've seen the first 4. They land a little closer to home.
Still hear my phone. There we go. Welcome. We kind of did that already, but also in case you've never been here before, my name is Servo. We have Jono. Jono, say hi. I'm Jono.
I'm Jono.
We got Moose.
Jono
coming the wrong way, but I don't care. And then of course we have the direct edition.
No, you actually are pointing the right way.
Oh, perfect. On my screen, he's the other way. But
direct edition's right over there.
Jono.
Nice. yeah. This is Jono. That's the direct edition.
Yeah. No,
that's
I'm
Jono.
Wrong way. You're over there.
This is Jono.
No, that's on your Discord screen, not on the podcast.
Let's done. No, I'm looking right at the podcast while I'm doing it.
This is Jono.
It's the same as on
Your video
This is
feeds
Moose.
here.
your video feeds backwards when you go through Discord.
No, it's not, bro.
Yes, it is.
Moose.
You're pointing
Unless
off
you
screen.
said
Do you
no.
see you pointing off screen?
Jono
No.
and Servo.
Oh, you're right. I am mirrored. Oh,
I know.
Weird.
When you're
Oh,
in a
okay.
call,
We're in this. We're in the same order, but my video is flipped. Huh? That's weird.
that's
hate
Discord calls.
that.
They're real weird.
Servo's
I
this
don't like
way.
that at all. Yeah, that's fucking strange.
We'll get it right eventually.
One day.
Eventually.
One day.
One day.
Or another.
Or another.
I'm
No.
gonna find you.
song.
I'm gonna get you. One day.
Maybe next week.
Never again. Okay. Anyways.
Anyway,
All right. So how have you guys been doing since the new year? What have you been up to?
Just watching anime on stream. No big deal.
Oh yeah, you too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's been a lot of people who's been. Well, it's actually a topic we removed. I think.
No, it's
It's
still on
the
there.
title of the stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, the TV meta thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you haven't been removed for watching anime, Servo?
Huh? Oh no, I'm bullshitting. Of course, I have actual content, unlike XQC and some of the others.
true.
Oh man. So what have you guys been playing? What have you guys been playing these last 2 weeks?
Oh boy. Well, I'll start since I decided to start making noises with my mouth.
Yep.
Lots of
There's
Call of
always
Duty
one.
Vanguard. I think we're 30 days maybe from the beginning of the next season, and it was like a 60-day season, and I finished the battle pass in about 12 days.
Damn.
So
Jesus.
I was playing quite, and that wasn't with like a boosted pass or anything. That was me.
Fuck
just,
me.
Yeah, that was me just playing the game. Although at one point, I'm not sure what happened, but it said, when you're looking at the battle pass for Call of Duty, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But when you select a tier that you've not unlocked yet, it says buy, like a pass for that many
Yeah.
levels.
Mhm.
Well, if you have a tier skip, like if you buy a bundle, sometimes they come with a tier skip or something like that. When you go there, it'll say redeem tier skip, and you can click it and it'll boop go to the next level, right?
Yeah.
At one point, I was just looking at it randomly. It was around Christmas time, so I think it might have been related to Christmas, although I have no idea. But I hit the button and it was like doom 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 doom, and it unlocked like maybe 10 tiers
Jesus.
for free. I have no idea what I did or how I did that, or I honestly I don't
Alright.
know. So that definitely helped. But yeah, I did the whole thing legit. And now, because I'm still leveling up in the game, I keep unlocking tier skips, and I've already completed the battle pass. So it's kind of pissing me off a little bit. So I stopped playing that for a little while.
That's what I was going to
so they-
ask. Did it like
Yeah.
maybe stack all your tier skips or something while you were playing?
I honestly I don't know. I don't know if if I was earning them from something, but it didn't tell me that I was earning them.
Right.
It was just I just saw that redeem tier skips. I'm like, I have one, thinking that it was one,
Right.
and it was like, brrrr, and I was like, oh okay, I guess
All right.
I had more than I thought. Let's see. I got back into Overwatch a little bit. Magic the Gathering, I'm playing pretty heavily right now because the new set that
Gotta
you guys were
prep up
talking
for
about last
Kamigawa.
time is coming out,
Yeah,
and I
boy.
can't tell you how fucking hyped I am. Like, I mean, you guys were pretty excited, but like, I was borderline doing Sean activities in the theater thinking about it, So
I've been waiting
yeah.
because I had like spoilers for Cyberpunk Kamigawa for a while now, and I'm just like, now that they've started actually releasing spoilers,
Dude,
oh,
the cards are so cool. I
the
just I
lands
can't
are
wait.
so fucking pretty.
Oh my god, those special lands, dude.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I already have considered. I haven't actually hit the button yet because it's kind of expensive, but I've considered buying a foil set of the all the special lands if they come out in foils, which I don't know if they do or not, but they're listed on the site as foil, so I'm assuming that there might be some.
They
So who
probably
knows?
will.
I'm I don't have any like real physical Magic cards. I've got a box of like garbage that I could play with if I really wanted to.
Mhm.
But
Same.
yeah, I'm thinking about collecting those because those are fucking cool. Let's see. Jazzer gifted me Naraka Blade Point. It's that, Dynasty Warriors MMO.
Oh, you
I've
were
been
playing
playing
that
that.
before it came out.
Oh yeah, I was. They changed the name too. It wasn't called Naraka Blade Point before, but now it's basically the same game. They haven't changed a whole lot. It's super fun.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested in that, it's very cheap to buy. And a lot of times the lobbies are pretty much just bots, not like actual bots, but people who just don't know how to play.
Mhm.
So it's not very punishing. Although sometimes you'll get like top three, and that one guy, he's just probably as good as you are. And, just depends on what kind of gear you find. So sometimes you can
Yeah.
get pretty badly destroyed. But again, they have different characters you can play, and as long as you learn a character, you can pretty much win that. Let's see, I got totally accurate battle
Oh,
simulator.
tabs.
I beat
Dabs.
the whole thing because you guys know how I am with games. I'm like, okay, this is my game now, and I fucking just blew through that. It was awesome. My favorite is the simulator levels that are like it's like a big fortress, and yeah, it's just I mean, there's so much to do in that game. I haven't unlocked all the secret units though. That's what I'm working on now.
I love all just the meme level things like
Mm-hmm.
100 horse-sized ducks versus or whatever.
Yeah.
One horse-sized
Duck-sized
duck
horses.
versus 100. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Horse
yeah, no,
ducks.
I got you.
Duck, horse, duck.
Horse ducks and duck horses, yeah.
Mhm.
Or just like my favorite is the things that beat other things that you just wouldn't expect. Like 100 club guys, they like are able to beat up the elephants or whatever, it just like doesn't make any sense, but it works.
Yeah.
And then most recently, Project Zomboid, which is an older early access game that's been out for like ever, but I think it's like almost been out for 10 years now.
They
But the
completely
game in the
fucking
state that it's
revamped the
in,
game.
exactly, the state that it's in now is very different and very detailed and very fun. One thing that I found out recently is when you're walking through like a forested area, it slows you down when you're walking through like trees and stuff, but it also damages your clothing. So after a while, if you're just walking through the woods, walking, all that awesome like leather jacket that you got, it's getting worn down, and the like bite defense lowers, and eventually you have to ditch it.
God,
So it's kind of cool.
they've done so
It's
like
kind of cool doing that.
back when I got it, it was just a 16-bit like game that was just overhead view, kind of original Fallout style.
Yeah.
Go kind of survive for as long as you can, and now it's a full kind of 3D-ish viewed game, and it's got a whole survival mode and everything in it. It's crazy.
There's building. You
Crazy.
can barricade houses, take down walls with a sledgehammer, build them. I mean, it's nutty.
Do you still get to choose like
It's a lot of fun.
which period of time that you start the game, like like right at Z Day, or like a couple years past or something like that?
Well, the solo mode, I haven't messed with it yet. The only thing I've done is like created my own server. But when you create a server, you do get to choose every little setting. How many zombies are around, how often they spawn, what time of day it is, how long until the power cuts off, how long until the running water cuts off. There's like no spoilers, but there's an event that happens that you can time that to. And I mean, everything from like, how much damage is done, all the stuff like that. It's pretty fucking cool.
Sounds great. I am excited to play it again. Like, now that
Yeah,
it's completely changed, I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah, when they introduced that layer of Z Day plus however many and stuff like that, like that's when I originally started playing it, and then shortly after that stopped. And so I'm very curious to see how far it's come from that, because I did have a good time. I just kind of fell off.
Yeah, like it's always been like almost like 2D 7 Days to Die for me. I love any survival game, so.
And Survivor Horror R+.
It is my kink.
Yes, it is your kink.
Speaking of your kinks, what have you been playing?
Yeah, Jonah, what have you been playing?
Oh God. So most recently Monster Hunter Rise, because that just came out on PC this week.
Yeah.
Bunch of GTA, because I've just been doing not the newest that just came out, the Jay-Z heist, but the one before that.
Yeah.
Because you can solo it, and I'm just been like, I need to make money so I can do the Jay-Z heist.
Gotcha.
And more or less for the last few weeks, because Moose is a son of a bitch and gifted me Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, I've been going through every Five Nights at Freddy's game, through every bit of lore, and my brain is filled with animatronic goop now.
A bunch of Fazbears.
I did not realize, like, because I'd played them before and I'd enjoyed them and everything. I did not realize how deep and, like, spread throughout and convoluted the fucking lore of that game is. It makes Kingdom Hearts look like a straight timeline.
I doubt that.
I wish that I could doubt that, because the way that the fucking lore in the Five Nights series is done, Kingdom Hearts, it's through a bunch of different games. They jump around in different time periods, sure, but you can go, okay, this game has the story for this part of the beginning. This game leads to this part of the story. Five Nights, you go, all right, there's a poster on the wall during a part of this game, and that's got a whole section of lore, so you have to pause the game to be able to read this part. Also, there's 3 books that happen during this part of the game that you need to be able to read and pull out the pieces of the lore for it to fit into the puzzle, and then you can play the rest of this game. But there's also several games that take place after this, but beforehand in the timeline, and I'm like, fuck, this is complicated. But also, it's ridiculously good.
It's very interesting. I don't.
I can't even begin to explain. Like, it's one of those things that I hate that I've dug down this hole, but I've become obsessed and I love it now.
I mean, that's fair.
Right.
Haven't gotten to touch Security Breach yet, but I'm at the point now where I understand the lore up to the point of that game's beginning, so that's next in the line.
Incredible.
Like,
that's funny to think about. You have to go back to other games and then read books and then like pause part of the game and read a poster. No, I'm just saying, but like you have to.
Yeah.
To like
he
enjoy the game.
Specifically me,
exactly.
because I have a weird thing where if I'm gonna jump into something this late in a series, then I need to understand everything up to this point right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole like separate level of bullshit with the VR game Help Wanted, where I thought that it was just a combination of all the original games, but then it turns out no, it's a VR game inside of the universe that's made as a VR game that has all of the previous games inside of it, but also has its own separate lore that launches into the fucking future.
Yep.
So that's my madness lately.
Right.
How are the rest of you?
I thought you had Survivor Boys.
Oh, I mean, what did we beat It Takes Two, and then Moose has been sick with COVID, and
yeah,
I've been dying due to fucking horrible toothache the last couple of weeks. So
Children, you die every week. So.
I do die. God. If only. No, we haven't had Survival Boys since the new year.
Okay. Oh, so the last one was
Yeah.
It Takes Two that y'all finished?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I have been playing a plethora of games. I've been doing my dailies on Magic the Gathering just so I can rack up some coins. I think I've gotten back up to like 25,000. So when Kamigawa comes out, I can drop a big load on that. I beat Wonder Labyrinth. I beat Wonder Labyrinth. It's like a Record of Lotus War prequel. And I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I just thought it was a 2D Metroidvania style. Like, well, damn, Moose, if you didn't want to hear about it, you should have just told me. Shit. Damn. Like, well, hell. Well, fuck you. Well, fuck you too, Moose.
I think I'm good.
Baby, come back. You can blame it
think
all on me.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't think this is working out very well.
No, you're just still framing. It's fine.
Okay. Good to know.
Now where did that go?
What the fuck?
Is that it? Are we all just gonna take a turn leaving? Is that what season 3 is?
I guess so.
Season 3, only one person allowed on screen at a time.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, good. I guess it's my turn to.
Is your turn to leave?
Yeah.
You're out. What was I say? Wonder Labyrinth. There's some type of Record of Lotus War prequel. I liked it because, son of a bit.
Moose dip out.
Every time that Lat starts talking about this Record of Aegis War game or Lotus War or whatever, Moose just dips. He wants nothing to do with this game.
I know.
He doesn't want to know about it. Don't tell him.
I'm like, well, shit. Well, it's not
Quick,
about
quick,
him.
tell us
It's
about
what
it while he's
I've
not
been
here.
playing.
Well,
It's
then-
what I've been playing. It's
well, then
not what
continue
Moose
talking.
about.
I don't know why you keep stopping for Moose's dead corpse.
Because he wants to hear about it. That's why he keeps coming back. He's like an abused lover.
No, he comes.
Exactly.
He like walks back in the rooms. Like, you done yet?
Did you finish talking about that game yet?
When you
Oh
finish
no,
the mayor-
I'll be back.
All right, I'll be back.
Crime and Netley.
But
Shit.
I started playing it because of the pixel art and the Metroidvania style. And it's supposedly the creator of the series, Record of Lotus War, had a specific hand in writing and crafting this game. So I have fun with it. It's a short game. You probably can finish it in about 6 hours or so. But it was fun nonetheless. I been doing my dailies and stuff in Genshin. I haven't done any pulls, which TQ Gamer is very upset with me about. I think I racked up like 40 pulls in that game, and he wants me to use them, and I'm like, no, there's no character set I want right now. So
No, he's saving it for Venti. And
Nah.
then he won't be able to pull
so
him,
yeah, probably.
because that's how gacha games work.
Yeah.
In the name. Gotcha.
I've been doing some fights in tight spaces, which can be very
That game's
addicting.
cool.
Yeah,
I was watching you play that.
I can definitely see myself getting addicted to it because outside of the normal game, they release like weekly challenges where one week it'd be you craft a custom hand and they put like penalties on the mission that you play. For instance, they'll say like, okay, you don't have any rollbacks, which lets you rewind time if you make a wrong move or something, or you can only use a certain deck, or it's like every week they change it up for you and they give you a different map to go through. So it really adds like some extra like playthrough once you've gone through the game. Lastly, I played Backbone. Servo, you played it a long time ago.
I love
Yeah,
that game.
yeah. It
The writing for
is.
that game is really good.
Yeah, that first case is definitely threw me for a loop.
Oh yeah.
I guess the related animals threw me off. I didn't think it was going to get that deep, that dark, that quick.
It was really cool. My favorite part at the beginning was where you're talking to the newsstand guy about the other guy about getting inside the building. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then once you get inside, it's like, oh shit, okay, all right, shit's going down for real in here.
Yeah, it's definitely going down for real. So that's supposed to be another short one. So hopefully I'll be able to finish that this also before I move on to pick out another game to go on to.
Donald really
So-
did dip out next. What the hell?
What he's not saying is that he has to go take a shit.
Take a shit. That's what I did. Sorry.
It happens. It happens.
I'm so
I've
sorry,
had to
lad.
go, I've had to go to drop off some chocolate basketball-sized mud babies before too.
Basketball size. Holy shit.
Yeah, right.
So I've been jumping between a lot, but I still try to make sure I finish them. I'm still on my indie game kick. I'm loving like all these indie games that keep coming up, but there's so many. Like my goodness, I want to play so many, but I can't. It's not enough
What's
time.
nice is that, I was gonna say what's nice is that you can just kind of pick up one, even if it's kind of short, or especially if it's kind of short, then it's like, oh, okay. All right, I've finished that one. Now I can play that other one that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
It's just for me, I almost get too much in the list to where I'm like, okay, now which one's next? Because I'm like, oh, 5 of these I want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, ever since I've played Fights in Tight Spaces, Game Pass keeps recommending Slay the Spire to me, which everyone keeps telling me I need to play.
Yes,
and I'm just like, hold on, I'll get to it when I get to it.
I will tell you, Slay the Spire is one that if you already own it, install it and try it for like 15 minutes. You'll get the gist of it, and then you'll be like, okay, I need to come back and play this at some point. But
it's on Game Pass. It was on Game Pass, so that's why that's the reason I was thinking about.
It's a small game. Just install it and just dink around in it for 15 minutes because it's not one of those where you can't just stop because you can, which is cool. But you won't want to. It's really good.
Yeah, I was about to say, as someone who part of my deck builders and roguelikes platinuming them on Steam, Slay the Spire was the first one that I platted, and Jesus Christ, that game will steal your soul.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I mean, if it's anything like Fights in Tight Spaces, I think I'm gonna enjoy it. It's like that deck building. You choose your move type ordeal. Like, oh man, so something else for me to get addicted to.
I was gonna say if you become a fan of Slay the Spire, I would highly recommend the second one that I went to platinum after that because I was like still in that just got to get me some of that vibes. Monster Train.
Yeah,
Monster Train is insanely good. And then Ring of Pain after that. Deck builders and roguelikes have become my focus in this past 6 months. Like that's been the main focus of my shit.
And I'm starting to see why. Man, I was like, man, I didn't expect to be this addicted to fights in tight spaces, but I just like that. Whatever that game is, that's your game of choice at that time. I find myself like up at midnight, like trying different patterns and trying to get like magic.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I find myself like going. It's like midnight, and damn, what time is it? Oh shit! One more match, just one more match, and
Oh,
an hour later, I'm finally crawling into bed. It was so super fun, super fun.
My
But yeah,
problem
that
with
was
Magic, it's not really a problem so much, but it helps me with situations like that. Is that I get to a point where like my deck is just like here's and in case you didn't already know, the draws in Magic the Gathering Arena are manipulated to a certain extent. It's been proven. Not a lot, but there is some manipulation going on in there by the game, and it's based on whether you've been winning a lot or not, which is
huh.
but in any case, I get to the point where I'm like, okay, it's against me. Like I'm done.
Yeah,
And then I come back to the next day and I'm like, boom, win, 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 win. And then it'll be like lose, lose, lose. Okay, I'm good. You know, as soon as I finish my dailies, I'm out because I know I'm gonna start the lose train.
that happened to me Thursday. I hopped on and I had like seven losses back to back, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
you know what? Let me walk away. And I came back an hour later, and then I started racking up wins, finished my dailies, and then that next loss, I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm done for the day.
It's funny.
It gets crazy.
It can, yeah. Yo, speaking of playing a game too much, Moose, I'm sorry, we talked about what you wanted to play, right?
Who's haven't gone
not,
yet?
not, not yet.
What? Come on.
No.
Come on.
Let everyone else go. Everyone was deciding.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to.
That was all good.
I
But
was starting to segue into the first topic, but then I was like, wait a second, Moose didn't fucking go. But so I was bringing it back to you. My bad.
True.
So
Yeah.
speaking of which, Moose, go ahead and tell us what games you played the last 2 weeks. We want to know.
So yeah, Monster Hunter Rise, I've definitely been dumping some time into. It is a great improvement on Monster Hunter World. Because my main problems that I had with Monster Hunter World and why I fell off with that one was that the mobility aspect of it left something to be desired, just consistently plodding around. You had some other movement options, but it wasn't really you plodded around a lot of the time you were playing
Looking
World.
for feet.
Yeah, looking for feet and stuff like that, and so there was a lot of not hunting happening in Monster Hunter World. And then the absolute grind that it took to perfect the sets and getting those specific gems, and it's just a lot of grind. But Monster Hunter Rise, though, has solved so much of that. They've added a verticality element with wire bugs, zip zapping around and, Spider-Maning your way across the map, and also riding your pet dog into battle, which is fucking awesome. It's just a wonderful feature.
That sounds pretty dope.
Yeah, it's a wonderful feature. And so that has definitely it's definitely been on my kind of joyful side of playing. But I'm still continuing the roguelike and deck builder platinum hunt. Like I said earlier, I've got Monster Train and Slay the Spire done. Now I'm working on Hades and Ring of Pain. And Ring of Pain is a bitch, though. That's like I've had moments with Monster Train and Slay the Spire that have stopped me dead in my tracks. Like it took me several months to get the last achievement I needed in Slay the Spire. But Ring of Pain is on a whole other level of butt fuckery. Like it just hates the game. Hates you.
Have you seen Loop Hero?
Yeah, and I've put some time into that one. It's I don't particularly hate it. It's not my bag. It is a good game. It is a good game. It's not my style though.
I feel
So
it. All right. I was just curious. I saw it the other day. I think Jack was playing it, and I was like, I wonder if Moose would like this,
yeah,
specifically because I know you like those deck builder games.
yeah, like, and it is a good game. I can't naysay it. And it's not my bag.
I got
Um,
you.
so between Ring of Pain and Hades, working on Risk of Rain 2 as well. But then I got sidetracked because I was like, you know what? I'm going to perfect a different genre of game. And my buddy picked up, had a spare key for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. So like Castlevania Symphony of the Night's um, spiritual successor. And I'd played it on Game Pass already and gotten pretty close to perfecting it, but it's not. I don't have any edict points that I can wave around on Game Pass. So I was like, well, let me start getting them achievements on Steam, and I've got
I'm sorry.
41.
Did you say EDICT?
No,
points?
no, E hyphen DICK points.
Okay, all right. Just clarifying.
My
I'm like, what are edict points? I've never heard of these points.
Yeah,
And
no.
why do they call them that? That's strange.
my electronic panias.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I can't wave that around so much on Game Pass, but on Steam, I've got Achievos for that, and so I can do that there. So I got 41 out of 45 on that because I can blow through Bloodstain. There's a few that are total assholes to get, like craft one of everything in the game. That's just a boatload of farming and just mindless gold farming, and there's just a lot of bullshit. And especially in the late in 1.0, it was a lot easier, but they realized how easy it was, and Ego put a stop to that in 1.02. So he made it a lot harder to get that achievement. So
yeah,
working on that, and then Destiny 2.
And then Destiny 2.
And then Destiny 2.
Destiny 2.
Moose, if you like Slay the Spire and deck builders, you may like Banners of Ruin.
Yeah, I've gotten a pretty decent way through that one. That's in my deck builders and roguelikes completion list. I've got 12 out of 16 achievements on that one. Started hitting some bullshit streaks and stopped for a little while. Right now in the list, though, yeah, Banners of Ruin, Crypt of the Necrodancer, Curse of the Dead Gods, Dead Cells, Gunfire Reborn.
Curse of the Necrodancer, so fucking
I love it. Gunfire Reborn, Hades, Inscription, which I still haven't played yet, and I really want to. Loop Hero. I'm eventually going to get the achievements on that, and just got to force myself to do it. Neon Abyss, Neoverse, Other Side, Risk of Rain 2, Ring of Pain, Skull the Hero Slayer, and then that is the chunk of deck builders and roguelikes that I've got set aside to perfect on Steam.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, now that I'm not skipping over Moose accidentally.
I was gonna say, see, you were saying earlier, Servo.
Now that I exist
I was.
again, God.
I mean, we all kind of disappeared there for a minute, but
We did. My computer.
We are mostly
shenanigans.
back now. Although Jono, in case you guys are wondering, he'll return shortly, and the wonderful Chibi is around. She's good, so we'll be seeing her eventually. No big deal.
Yeah, she came and saw us for the season premiere. Let us know if she's still alive.
She's around. In case you guys missed that, which by the way, there's a really awesome and very kind of long VOD, but there's some really good points in there.
Yeah, we're working on splitting it up for more editable pieces.
I was just gonna say it should be on YouTube before too long, so be checking that out. But yeah, what I was gonna mention earlier was that I heard about this and then I saw it in the topics list, and it's really funny. Is that apparently some cops I thought it said originally that they got arrested, which would have been even funnier, but there were some cops that got fired basically for playing Pokemon Go. And then the internet just lost their shit. Like it was pretty fucking hilarious. Like there were a lot of Twitter posts, although they're not listed here. I saw all kinds of shit.
Yeah, usually I'm the one that's all for like cops getting their just due. But I mean, but unless there was some type of other misconduct that we didn't see, I kind of think this was heavy-handed as far as the punishment
I
goes.
mean, I guess it depends on the situation, but I could definitely see some fucking bum cop who's like already doing stuff wrong, right?
Yeah,
And
that's what I
then,
meant. This is just from the way that I see that they were
yeah,
playing Pokemon Go. They ignored a robbery, and I mean, unless there was like something that led up to some other misconduct that led up to that we don't see in this article, previous like suspensions or reprimands or whatever, then it just feels kind of heavy-handed.
yeah, no,
Like
I guarantee there's no like, real life Hobbs and Shaws out there getting fucking, bent over because they're turning on Pokemon Go on their lunch break or, you know, every once in a while to check if there's a fucking Rayquaza flying around or something. You know what I mean?
right,
Like, I guarantee
right.
that's probably not on their boss's list of things to fire them for. But if you already got it coming, yeah, we know that that's probably the kind of people who are going to get fired for this kind of shit anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, in case you were curious, it says somewhere in here, yeah. The play-by-play is basically that the two officers were shirking some responsibilities to other officers, and then they would dip out and go play Pokemon Go. I
Right.
can't believe I just said that out loud, but that's really funny. Yeah, but yeah, that's what they were doing.
And
So
they were playing it while on the job,
right.
and one report says that they ignored a robbery that was in progress to continue playing Pogo. So, uh, I mean, I know it's addicting. I know it's a good game, and I know you want to have fun, but don't ignore. Well, I could say don't ignore, but this kind of just throw another log on the Pogo fire of all
Yeah.
the shit that's happened since that game has come out.
Yeah.
So, eh, I mean, it just seems to be now. It is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. What the fuck? I just saw the craziest ad up on the side of this article just now, and and then it went away. I'm kind of mad about it. In any case, I mean, yeah, I mean, Pokemon Go is a great game, but like, come on now, like,
Right. You
Yes.
did do your job.
let's keep it
Don't show
real.
your responsibility. Right.
Yeah. Um. Okay, so following that, kind of interesting, but also totally expected with
Right.
everything that's going on right now. It's kind of funny. I don't usually listen to the, I would say, mainstream news because a lot of it, it's just like I don't retain it. But nowadays, I mean, pretty much all you're hearing is a bunch of people don't want to get the vaccine still.
Mhm.
Unsurprisingly, they're trying to get more money to do stuff, and the other side keeps telling them that's what they don't want to do, and that everything is going virtual, or staying virtual if it was planned to be virtual. Don't do it virtual. Oh, we don't like we want it to be in real person. No, okay, it's like there's this whole fight over what's going to be virtual only and what's not. Apparently E3 was like, hey, we're just going to stay virtual
Right.
because we're not going to fuck around with that. So yeah, they were just like, health risk bad, COVID bad, we're gonna go virtual because guess what? You guys can pretty much see everything you wanted to see virtually, and that way no one fucking gets sick.
No one
Like,
gets sick, and
yeah.
because
And
So
people have already proven that they're not going to do what's right for their fellow man. Because I asked my doctor about it. My doctor pretty much was like, "You're not getting the vaccine for you. You're getting the vaccine for everyone else to try and
exactly,
curb the
yeah,
spread or whatever and whatnot." And people have already proven, not saying everybody is this way, but there are a lot of people whatever their beliefs are. I'm not telling you to or not to get the vaccine. It's
of course
purely your
not.
choice.
Yeah, no,
Purely your choice. I mean,
yeah.
but we've already proven that there's a people out there who aren't going to to get the vaccine for whatever reason. But the thing that draws the line is when they go beyond that and try to push that belief onto somebody else.
Yeah,
So, and
well, I mean,
that's where it gets hectic.
yeah, of course. The reality is like, okay, so I mean, basically, you've got two sides of the coin. Either you're okay with, and this is simplifying it to a certain aspect. I understand that, but you're either okay with the fact that what you're doing might kill someone else, which is, I mean, I guess that could be anything, but still, you're increasing the chances, or you're not.
Right.
So,
And
I don't know.
E3 has E3 has decided not to hold an in person,
Exactly.
and it's kind of like a toss up because going into this year, we've seen a lot of conventions like return, and we've also seen a lot of conventions still try to stay virtual for the people, and it's a very difficult choice. I can only imagine the choice that they have to make. These conventions are pretty much a lot of their revenue. And a lot of them don't have to do with gaming. Like New York Toy Con has decided not to come back, and for this year, not permanently this year. But there's been a lot of like businesses and toy owners and that have said that for their livelihood to show new products and gain income. But
Exactly.
just along those lines, where then you have just to name some in our state, like MegaCon. MegaCon's decided like we're still going to have a convention because for whatever reason, I don't want to put a reason on there, but um, they're like, yeah, we're still going to have a convention. PAX South has decided to like go ahead and close down for good, which is sad to hear, but it's a really difficult choice to make is what I'm saying. So I can't fault E3 for wanting to keep people safe, just like I can't fault other conventions for want to help people with their livelihood, if that's the reason, if putting on a convention to help folks with their livelihood and whatnot. Because one thing hasn't been proven is people want to go.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, we're entering we just tuning into pandemic season 3 now. So
pretty much, yeah.
So it's like me on the standpoint, I kind of feel like COVID is here to stay. It's like the new flu. And
yeah, I mean, people were saying that at the beginning.
Yeah.
People are just like, for me, for example, like I'm kind of along the lines with you. I'm like definitely feeling like it's here to stay. I mean, to me, that wasn't really, of course, a big surprise, but I was hopeful that they were going to be able to say, like, okay, well, now everybody's got the vaccine. The virus is pretty much, stopped killing people, or it's like half of what it was, or no, we're worse off as the United States anyway. We're worse off than we were when it started.
Yeah, like I said, pandemic season 3 has started. It's crazy.
It was funny. I saw somebody talking about it. They did a short little kind of like a short little shit post on like a little video, and they were playing both parts in this video. One was the CDC, one was the United States, and as the CDC, he was like, "America, we're gonna need you to flatten that curve and get on it now." And then as America, he's like, "Okay, yeah, sure, we'll flatten the curve." And then it cuts to a graph where the curve just goes straight fucking up in number of confirmed cases. And he's like, "Not like that."
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, back to E3. They confirmed that they're not gonna this year. They're just gonna be online only. And right after that, right after they announced that they were gonna have their online only event, I'm not familiar with this Geoff Keighley guy who was like started pushing his Game Fest for 2022. So right after E3, it was like, we're going to go and head to online only, Geoff Keighley came out and he was like, "Well, come to Game Fest and have a good time. We're gonna have strippers and cocaine and whatever his marketing pitch was."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so to speak like it wasn't so to speak, but it was like a direct jab at E3 going online only.
Yeah. Geoff Keighley, by the way, he's the guy that used to do game trailers on G4 TV. He used to be the co-host on some of those shows, and he's done tons of writing. He worked for Kotaku and all kinds of shit, and of course now he's been doing the Game Awards, the most recent Game Awards. We saw him as the host.
Yeah. I must
He's
not have
like
been paying attention to the name.
best buds with Hideo Kojima. Like they cross promote quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's a pretty accomplished dude. Like,
yeah.
But,
I mean, it could definitely be a good event. It's kind of funny that they're doing that. I mean, summer 22. When was E3 supposed to be?
July.
So yeah, around the same time. So,
and we're starting to see that also. I mean, not to keep harping on it, but a lot of conventions have pushed back their date in hopes of having a convention. Like again, for us, MegaCon was early on this year, like end of February, and Florida SuperCon was like later in May. But now MegaCon has pushed their event back to May, and then Florida SuperCon, and they both ended up like happening on the same weekend.
Right.
Yeah, and as someone who has gone through the virus twice now, it has dawned on me that it is pretty much an inevitability. Personal opinions only. Personal opinion only. It's an inevitability. Right. But I would like to see more preventative measures in place. I don't believe that it is going away, but I applaud the conventions that are going virtual. I applaud that as a preventative measure. I'm not saying everyone needs to do it. I'm not going to push that. But I respect those that do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind people making decisions for themselves. I just feel like it just seems a little. Your average person should not be okay with the fact that you're making it easier to kill people just by them getting sick from something that you might not even be affected by. Like,
right.
Yeah. I mean, it is a personal choice. We keep kind of saying that, but at the same time, like, it kind of freaks me out when I think about people making that choice so lightly and based on information a lot of times it's just not true, and it's scary to think about the amount of things that people just believe blindly. I could go on and on about that, but I mean, keeping it in COVID, it's freaky. It's freaky to think about that kind of thing, especially when I mean I don't even have kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't imagine feeling the way you feel.
Yeah. Dread is the feeling that you may be looking for. Because we get an email and phone call like every day from the schools for both of my boys. It was like and now they've chosen, or I don't know if that was a Duval County decision or if it was a government decision, but they've chosen to discontinue contact tracing.
Wow.
So yeah.
Holy shit.
It's like every parent is not like me. If my child's not feeling good, I'm not sending them to school.
Right.
And that's all that can be said for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Every parent's not like me. Every parent's not in the situation that I'm in. And it's just, but it's frustrating and it's dreadful. So
I honestly, I guess I would be looking at it from an outside point of view as like, speaking of what you just said, I feel really bad for people who can't afford to stay home when they're sick.
and that's
Like
where
that
we've
kind of breaks my heart a
been.
little bit.
That's where we've been for years. That's
Yeah.
where we've been for years. People who've run out of sick days because of medical issues or
Yeah.
no choice but to go to work. They sick, and I've seen so many people like that. And I mean,
Yeah.
I was just like, I will give people because I'm usually that person at the end of the year. I still have like 4 or 5 sick days left because I don't take that many sick. I don't go. I don't. Not that I don't go to the doctor or I don't get sick often. I'll say,
Yeah.
but
Knock on
but
wood. Yeah.
but I don't. I feel like I don't get sick often. I know what happens. Like if my nose starts running and draining, I'm like, oh, I know my sinuses. I'm gonna be down for 2 days, and I'm gonna be good after that. Once I start spitting all of this stuff out. But everybody's not like that, and they have some serious illnesses, and they use their sick days within their first 3 months. And but you use all your sick days within the first 3 months. You have 9 other months to go through. That 90% chance are you going to get sick.
I mean,
Yeah.
So
especially now, yeah, it's like getting the cold is one thing, like, okay, well, your boss is like, oh, well, someone's gonna get a cold during cold season, maybe even a couple people, but it's like a couple days and you're fine. Someone else gets sick, okay, they got a cold, I don't have to really. But then when it comes to COVID, it's like, oh, so and so who works here just happens to be in that age range where like this could send them to the hospital,
yeah,
and you know people are just like acting like, oh well, like it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I myself am immunocompromised due to conditions, and the only the treatments that I'm on are immunosuppressants. So I'm immunocompromised with immunosuppressants running through me. So I effectively have a negative. I have negative immunity. Like,
Right.
if I had a stat chart, my immunity is in the negatives.
Right.
Hence why I was able to get it twice so easily, and why it put me on my fucking ass both times. So yeah,
That's what
I
I'm saying,
get
man.
that.
Like, I mean, again, they're trying to, you know,
but
trying
yeah,
to
but
keep it under
even
wraps is like, I
yeah,
mean,
even
it's
with
kind of
all
like
of
that
that,
South Park episode. Like we may be dealing with this like in our 30, well, I say 30s, in our relative 30s, like 30 years from now.
2030s.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I absolutely feel like this is a new flu. You had to get a flu shot every year. You're gonna have to get a COVID shot every year.
mhm.
I absolutely feel like that. I mean, just for the simple fact that it's so polarized about for people who want to take the vaccine and people who don't want to take the vaccine. So
Yeah. Anyways, on to greener pastures. I thought this was kind of interesting. I thought that for a second there that this was a completely different article. The headline says Prehistoric Man who lived 10,000 years ago comes back to life. That's the first part of the headline. So I was like, okay, like in what sense? And then it says at Serbia Pavilion at the Expo 2020 in Dubai, which immediately I was like, oh, like it's like computer generated. And it is, but it's actually really impressive. They use these
digitally.
they use these innovative graphics technology that they're coming out with, and something called amalgamating advanced scientific techniques, which I'm not sure exactly how they're using that term to define exactly what's going on, but it has to do with the study of the DNA to bring a physical representation of what all that data is telling them about what these people were like. And it's pretty interesting, but the guy just ends up looking like the dude from Game of Thrones. So I'm not that surprised.
He does kind of look like the guy from Game of Thrones. I
Khal
did find
Drogo?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I did find it interesting. I was really excited that they didn't mention exactly what technology they use. They said it was an amalgam of technology, and part of it was from the gaming industry. So that's the exciting part that I found about this article, because we're still getting the bad rep. 2022, gaming that's the first thing, video games, and here it was like we're using this to like put the piece together pieces of our history.
Yeah.
So I was definitely excited about that.
It's something that they made. They call it digital ancient human.
Yeah,
And it's like basically they use the same kind of software that you would use to make like a character in a video game, but instead they took the data, specifically the data that they've picked up from all this DNA research and bones and things like that that they
bone
found
structure. Yeah,
to as closely approximate like what his muscle mass would have looked like and what the muscles would have looked like on the bone and what the skin would have then looked like and the hair and all this stuff. So I mean, you're talking about someone who like, it says here that he was supposedly about 50 years old and weighed 70 kilograms. Hey Google, how much is 70 kilograms in pounds?
Is equal to 154.
150-pound dude who pretty much just ate fish all the time. So that's pretty. Google, shut up. And see, we're South Park episode. So yeah, so it's like it's kind of cool to see that what people are doing with that type of technology instead of just I mean, making video games is obviously pretty cool, but like doing some scientific research and showing people what a man would have actually looked like as
yeah,
close as they can get it, with all that data. I don't know. I like seeing data in action. I think that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you went to the Dubai Expo or whatever, I think they had him up on the panel, and he
Mhm.
had like real time responses. So like if you
Oh, that's
walk by the
cool.
panel and smile, he'd smile back, and some other emotion that he had that they would
Cool.
display. So
I
yeah.
wonder if he was just video rigged to somebody that like could see on a camera or something.
Mm.
Maybe, I
I
don't
mean, that
know.
could that's cool
Yeah,
too, but
maybe.
either way.
AI's been popping off lately, so
I
it's
mean, true,
plausible.
but it would be really cool to. I'm sure they had Jason Momoa back there, just like rigged up with mocap and all that shit.
Yeah, caveman's just like
Actually,
smiling and nodding, and they're like, "How are you doing?" "I'm doing pretty good, especially since Aquaman 2's coming out next year, and you should go see it."
Yep. So oddly enough, the next two articles are complete opposite articles.
oh yeah, about the way that they deal with console shortages.
So
Mhm.
one is Microsoft and one is PlayStation. And if you guys don't already know, Microsoft discontinued the Xbox One, completely discontinued it, and then PlayStation, Sony, they started making more PlayStation 4s because no one can get PlayStation 5s.
Right. So you want a
Yeah.
PlayStation 5? How about this PlayStation 4 instead?
Exactly.
Like that
Like,
is,
that's one way to go
it's
about
so
it.
dumb. I mean, I guess I could see them making some more. Like people are gonna buy something as long as it's available, right? But at the same time, like, what the fuck? Like, why aren't you using the same fucking factories to make the PS5s? Just
Right.
make more PS5s, stupid. Like, even if it's taking longer, at least you're making them. Like,
Well, Servo, how about this PS4 instead?
yeah, how about I fucking stick my finger up my ass? I'll pretty much have the same amount of fun.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. There's some pretty good games on the PS4.
But can your booty finger play Crisis?
I mean,
if you can play it on a toaster, it's possible.
come over here and I'll show you. I'll show you how to play Crisis.
In the words of Jono, don't threaten me with a good time.
Oh yeah, of course. As soon as he comes back in, very breathy, that's exactly what he'll say.
Exactly.
But
So,
thoughts?
I thought that was completely crazy the way they both of them handled them in the exact opposite way.
Yeah.
And it's like, is Microsoft like focusing on production of Xbox Series X now because they're going to stop the production of Xbox One consoles? Is that what they're saying, or is it just like, oh, we're yeah? I think that's what they were saying. It was like the focus on the new Xbox. We're going to stop producing Xbox One consoles, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
And then Sony's just like, we're going to make more PS4s because we know you want that shiny new PS5.
Yeah, exactly. Also, in case you guys didn't catch it, Halo 3 and all the Xbox One Halo games, all the servers shut down for those too.
Ripping pepperoni.
Yep. So, not that I like Halo or anything, because I don't, but I'm sure somebody does.
It's not like I like you or anything.
I don't like. What do we want to say?
So yeah, I guess kudos to Microsoft because I mean I guess you're going to be able to get a Series X before you get a PS5 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't even know how long I've been in a waiting list for a PS5. I just kind of forgot about it at this point. I was like, I'll get one when the 6 comes out.
Yeah.
Then I'll finally get to play Returnal. God damn it.
Hey guys, we're making more PS5s. It's been 20 years, you fucking asshole.
Fun fact, I will potentially sound like that in 20 years.
You get a ping on an email you haven't even used in years. It's like, click here to buy the PS5.
It's serious.
What? Now available only in digital format. You like download consoles digitally, and then you have a 3D printer that prints it out for you. It's like, okay, I got my PS5, guys. Fucking throw that thing in the garbage.
Download it into my Neuralink at that point.
I hope we have Neuralinks by that time.
Oh yeah, the PS5. I got it finally.
Right.
Let's play some games on it.
Real talk. I've talked to so many people about the Neuralink, and everyone is just like, like everyone is terrified of the concept. I'm like, look, real talk. If it reaches peak, what it could eventually do, you yourself could actually tap in, blink a couple times, and look at your friend and go, "I know kung fu," and it will actually work.
Yeah.
Fucking, if there's no other reason to stand the Neuralink, is being able to instantly know kung fu and being able to tell someone that you do.
But you know what? All technology goes through that fear stage. Me and Mrs. Moneypenny were talking about it today, where because the oldest is learning how to drive, and she was talking about him using GPS, and I was just kind of like, I'd rather not him be distracted and like know where he's going, read the road signs, look at, stuff like that. And I was like, you remember when GPSs first came out, not to show my age, and they were like leading people to cliffs and into lakes, and everyone was like,
and then
you might cut out, bro. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We lost you. We lost you at
the epic moment where you were saying,
I was saying, like, when the GPS first came out and they were leading people to like cliff edges and wrong addresses into lakes and shit like that, and everyone started screaming like,
I swear to God, dude, every time same thing, and people were like, and then nothing else.
Oh shit! I'm being monitored. They're watching me.
Yeah, the
GPS is watching me. They're trying to shut me down.
They don't
I know,
want people
right?
knowing about how bad GPS used to be. No, we have Google Maps now. Google Maps is it's fine. Yeah, it's great.
Hell yeah,
When it's
But
not.
yeah, I remember when you had to update them physically. Like
Mm.
it wasn't
Yes,
just
like
an
the
app
Garmin's.
download. Yeah, you have to plug it into a computer and download the update from the internet, and then 2 months later it was wrong because there's like some construction going on. Like there was no live traffic, there was no shit like that. If you made a detour, it would try and reroute you back to the original route over and over and over and over again. Oh,
Yep.
and God forbid that your fucking GPS charger that plugs into the cigarette lighter stopped working, and you were in the middle of the fucking forest at I don't know 10 o'clock at night in South Carolina trying to make your way back to Atlanta. Sorry, am I getting too personal?
Tell us how you
Because that
really
fucking
feel.
happened to me. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
when all I had was the little battery charger backup, and I'll plug it in, sit there for like 15 minutes, let it charge back up, turn it on real quick, drive until it died again, and then do it all over again. It
Yeah,
was miserable.
Garmin nearly fucked the pooch on GPS though, because their approach to it that soured me on the concept of GPS was the fact that not only did you have to go and get the download for the maps updates, every time they would release a substantial map update, that was paid DLC before
Right.
the term existed. If it was like
Yeah.
a minor, okay, here's some slight updates, some road name changes and stuff, that was okay, you could download that, but you had to buy the big updates for infrastructure changes and
Or
things.
in the case of what was it, TomTom, which that's one of the reasons why I think they
Oh,
ran out of business, is the file that you would download, the big file, like what Sean's talking about, it wasn't compatible with the model that you had. You had to get the new model because they only had the one update. So it was like, oh, well, I might as well just buy a new one. Yeah, maybe you should. That's probably a good idea. TomTom's like, we
yep.
got him. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yes. Horrendous.
Scam.
Mhm.
Yes. God, yeah. Those are. I'm
Hmm.
very glad that those became antiquated concepts quickly.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, now that you mentioned antiquated concept, this next article is kind of funny considering I just canceled my Humble Bundle subscription.
Well, now you can get it back again.
No, I don't think I will.
Yeah.
It's
I have to admit I haven't had it, and I've never seen something on there that made me want to get it.
I got
I
it
have-
for. I thought the subscription was a good idea. The free game concept, and it was. I was just like the first few months. I was like, oh wow, look at all these free games. But
Mhm.
after that third or fourth months, I was just kind of like, none of these look interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they originally, when I started subscribing, they had like Tomb Raider, and they had,
Mhm.
they had like games of that caliber on there. And then like a few months into my subscription, it was like Billy Bob Goes to the Bud Light Factory is now free for Humble Bundle subscribers. I'm like, what the fuck is? And then then it was just a string of games like that,
Yeah.
which and it's just I was like, never mind, don't need this.
Yeah, the kicker for me was when I started getting 6 months after I'd already purchased them. Like, oh, this is a cool game. Let me download this. And then 6 months later, free on Humble Bundle. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and the
they-
other problem I think came with Game Pass blew up,
Yeah.
especially PC
Oh,
Game
yeah.
Pass, and
Yep.
then getting so many games for free on Epic. Like I
That
don't
too.
need to pay for anything else to get
No.
basically plenty of actually great games.
Yeah.
Like recently, the entire Tomb Raider trilogy was on Epic. I was like, I've never even touched these games. I've always wanted to play them,
Mm.
and now there they are. They're all free to play. And I mean, I don't know. I subscribe. I feel like I subscribe to a lot of services already. Like for one, I have Game Pass, I have Prime Gaming, and I have well, I mean, I have an active Epic account. Um, I don't think anybody else really offers free games. The off Steam sale or whatever, I guess, is really the only other time that I'm buying games
Yeah.
more than I normally would. But yeah, I was like, I don't need Humble. I feel like I don't need it. I could see
Yeah.
why some people might advocate for it, especially if you really like the non-game kind of stuff that they tend to bundle. But other than that, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Their comic bundles are pretty dope. The book bundles are pretty good every now and again. The
The
software
RPG,
bundles,
the tabletop RPG stuff, I like.
yes. The
Some of that stuff I've like found, but then again, for me, I'm like, okay, let me just find the PDF real quick. All right, cool.
fair. Yeah, I've gotten a few like of the book bundles in the past, and because they have a lot of like tech guides and stuff like that, and like music production. They had some music production bundles, a couple of them, like gigantic loop packs and instrument files, and
Yeah,
fairly cheap. And I went nuts on those. I've got like a couple hundred gigs now of loops and instrument files on my backups right now,
that's
and
awesome.
yeah, like it's just ready to go for whenever I can get my next place and actually get the studio going.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, housing market. Um, so it definitely does, but honestly, Game Pass has just been slaying it so hard right now. It is almost impossible for anyone else to keep up, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
Third on that one. Mm. Mm. Wasn't there another like subscription along Humble Bundle? Itch something?
Itch.io.
Itch
Yeah,
dot Itch dot.
they have some bundles that they put out, but I don't know if they have a regular subscription service.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Not that I'm aware of, but they did come out with a few big packs of games. Especially they do that for charities, but all
Yeah.
those are usually pretty good. It just depends on what you're looking for. They don't have like that's pretty much all indie games. I think
Yeah.
it's only indie games actually.
Well,
But in
Highly
any case, yeah.
I highly recommend whenever they roll out a new PlayStation horror demo disc on itch.io. Those things are they're hit and
Uh-huh.
miss, but there's a lot of quality retro feeling. Like it's PlayStation 1 graphics essentially is what the vibe is when they do those demo discs, and
Yeah.
a lot of them are nuts. Like there's some
It just
really
depends on what it is, because some of the stuff is really solid. I mean, like for the longest time, I only saw Among Us on itch,
yeah.
and when it came to Steam and started really blowing up, I was like, okay, like that can happen. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there, but Humble Bundle being cheaper, I mean, that's good for people who really like Humble Bundle. But
yeah.
yeah, I think I'm kind of curious if Jono's still got his Humble Bundle. But in any case, moving right along to other things that I don't have anymore, uh, and that is, of course, an interest in playing New World. I went from being like New World all the way. I mean, it was a lot of fun. Huge amount of people were playing it.
Oh yeah.
Tons of people in the community. Sean and Jono being two of the people who I honestly play with a lot. And then right afterwards, it was like, oh, we're having to do this and reverse that, and there's hackers and blah blah, and a lot of people were just really unhappy with the way that the game was going. And then I feel like, and I don't know, really understand why, but I feel like a lot of people did not expect for people to get bored of the game. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna happen with any game.
Yeah.
People are gonna stop playing it to a certain extent, and everyone was spread out across all the servers. And then honestly, it took them so long to get the first couple problems out of the way with the hacking and the duping and all that shit.
And
That by the time that they got
screen
to it,
grabbing.
oh yeah, and by the time they got to fucking doing the server transfer, it was too late. Like our server that we played on, it went from having upwards of 2,000 people on a daily basis to somewhere which I thought was kind of normal, which was around 1,000, which is a good amount. It's still half of what we had, but it's a good amount of people because when you consider that the guilds are only 100 people or so, that allows for there to be like, 4 or 5 huge guilds, which is what we had. And
Yeah.
then everybody else kind of is like somewhere in else. And that worked. But then it went to like 500 and then it went to 200 like within a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, and I was like, oh shit, okay. And then everyone was already settled in their little like companies and shit like that. So like our company went from being there's like somewhere between 80 to 75 people on at the same time to being it's just me by myself, and there's still 100 people that are enlisted in the company, and I'm like, oh, 1% is showing up to play this game on a regular basis. Sometimes other people, but even then we're talking 2 to 3% of the people who were originally playing are now playing. And I was like, well, I guess I'll put it away for another day. And I'm kind of glad I did because here we go again. They've got more problems. They had to disable the entire market system. This article where they're talking about stopping the gold transfers, that was just the beginning. They ended up having to disable the entire market system again, deleting a bunch of items. Again, you're always going to have people who are pissed off because something got fucked up. And sure enough, yeah. So
I mean,
I don't know when the next big update. Sorry, Moose, I'll let you talk.
Oh, no, you're
I don't know when the next big update's going to be. All I was going to say is that it's going to have to be something significant to get me to install again because I uninstalled it. Fucking 40 gigs is just taking up space.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm still kind of salty. I'm really salty about it, to be honest. Like the Discord, oh my god, bro! I was like, when the Discord stopped being active, I was like, no, no.
Yeah.
I worked so hard. So much time.
I remember, Servo. You were dedicated. I mean, like you setting up the Discord and setting up the raids and running the behind the scenes work.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It wasn't. It was a labor of love doing that stuff. And
Yeah.
honestly, that's the kind of work that you don't want to lose. And sure enough, it was just like it's like one day nobody showed up to work kind of thing. I was just like, oh, all right.
I'm the only one here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You bastards.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's a lot of practices that they utilized with this game that murdered it. I mean, you had things like no public test realm. They did hot fixes for every issue, which is unheard of in modern day development. They were like, oh shit, we've got a duping issue. Put out a hot fix right now without testing it. We'll let the live audience test it. And that was the approach that they took with everything.
Yeah.
So as soon as there was something either imbalanced or something that needed fixed, they hot fixed it instead of aggregating a test realm to see just how it would impact the live servers before putting
it was
these changes
fucked up,
out.
man. Like I don't know anybody that wants to be like, oh well, yeah, shut it down until they get it fixed. Like nobody really wants to do that either because we waited a long time for the game to begin with, right? But at the same time, it's like I kind of wish that they did because they could have been like, oh, let me skip that. What ended up happening was they did the hot fix, and then everyone was like, okay, you may have kind of fixed that. Here's the proof that you didn't fix it, but also you fucking broke this too.
Yep.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, here we go again." And then it became, here we go again," like every fucking time. And I'm like I'm trying so hard to love you, but you're fucking up so bad. Like, just stop.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it really sucked. And I mean, again, there's some diehard people out there who they don't give a shit about that kind of shit, and I was one of them. But it makes it really hard to play an MMO when there's no massive in your multiplayer.
Right. And the thing is too is they had the servers, MMOs these days, they didn't take a lot of keys from modern day MMOs like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, that servers have limits to the amount of people that can be on them, but they're clustered servers with that can commingle with one another with instanced zones and things like that. And so what ended up happening is because they didn't cluster servers like modern everyone does now, you have
Yeah.
servers that have 5 to 15 people on them at peak hours. And we're talking about the game came out end of September. It's from what I'm looking at right here. Out of curiosity, I was like, how many people are playing right now? As of 7 minutes ago, there's 66,798 people playing. Well, what's the all-time peak? 913,027. That's a 92.7% decrease of a player base. Like, you gotta realize, and that was a sharp decline too.
Yeah.
And
I
it
mean,
happened
again,
around.
that always happens. Like World of
Yeah.
Warcraft, same thing. But the big thing
Nuts.
is that like the first update, which was like meant to add some new stuff, again, it was like that would have been a great thing to announce way in advance. Even if it
Yes.
wasn't done, just be like, "Hey guys, look, this is what we're working on putting out, but we got to address all this stuff first." They didn't do that. They were just like what you were saying. They were just hot fixing shit and creating more problems so that it kind of felt like it's like me going, "Hey, we know you want this. I've got to give you this first. But here, take this for a second. Oh wait, sorry, I dropped it. Oh God! Like there it goes. Like you're like
Right.
it's like a bait and switch, but there's no bait. Like the bait was like fucking a piece of caca in their hand.
It was a
Like what the
switch and
fuck?
switch. Yeah.
In comics, we refer to that as the rope a dope. It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
they put like the high price artist on the cover with the professional looking art that's awesome, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's this?" And then you open it,
Yeah.
and then it's Juan from down the street that's drawing the insides of the. And you're like, "Oh, really?"
And I will stand to that is my the one thing I feel that could have redeemed so much would have been a public test realm. That's the one hill that I would die on for this.
I mean,
Actually having
they
something.
did finally have that, by the way. But
Yeah, but
again, too
after
little, too late.
after over 80% of the player base already said fuck this shit.
Exactly.
And because PTRs are wonderful. They let you know what you're breaking without actually breaking what more people are playing. And
Mhm.
the amount of social media hype that gets generated on PTRs is immense. It's free advertisement. They're like, "Hey, I know you're in the live game. Here's what's going on in the PTR." Blah, blah, and you get thousands of hours of content of people who are on the PTR. It's a no-brainer to have that from patch 2 onward, if not already have it in the wings at launch. God damn.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Kind of hard to.
These the business practices.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know what the thinking was there, but it was obviously the wrong thinking.
Yes. Good Lord,
And
yes.
what really sucks too is that you've got folks like us out there who are fans of the game. We want them to try and do the right thing.
Yes.
It's not like we haven't been saying that all along, but again, then you've got the other part of the player base who they just kind of like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it doesn't. It's not intuitive to listen to us, but it is to listen to other people who are like, just hotfix it. Like,
Right.
no, don't do that.
You know, like
You could have-
I enjoyed the game until that day. It wasn't even like it wasn't even like a slow burn or anything. I loved it until I aggressively hated it. Like it was just a switch went off in my head. Like a few things happened back to back, and I was like, "Oh fuck this!" And then I just went straight to the uninstall. I was like, "Fuck all of this."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's nothing like being punished for grinding a game.
yes. In a game that is all grind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it hurt.
Fucked up. Yeah, it does. So I mean that was it for what we had in the list. Did you guys have anything in particular or over the last 2 weeks that you wanted to
I did have one that was very interesting to me. Did you guys hear ordeal that went down on Twitch?
say it again?
I said, did you guys hear about the money laundering ordeal that went down on Twitch?
No, I didn't hear about that at all.
Oh.
Well, it came late last year. They discovered like a bit of money laundering going on Twitch, where people were using stolen credit cards to transfer, like to buy bits and send them to a specific amount of, and they ended up like transferring like over $10 million.
Wow.
Like laundering $10 million through like Twitch bits. And the way that they found out is that Twitch found out like these couple of accounts were getting like loads of bits, and when they investigated it, they found out that
Wow.
They found out that what?
They found out that
they found out. I think Eden Wolf hit it on the nose. He's like, when a microphone cuts off.
How is this happening? Lat, hold it. Like, do me a favor. Hold your microphone like up to your mouth for a second, and just talk.
Can you hear me now?
We only heard. Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay. That's all I said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but for some reason, like, you're doing the lead in so perfectly, like, and then Eden Wolf hit it on the nose with. And we're like, what?
Right. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to do this like a rap battle. Then I'm gonna have to like hold it up, and I'm like, what was going on with the Twitch stream? And they were
just don't touch the thing on the top.
Whatever. All right, so what was the last part that you guys heard? They money laundered like $10 million, right? You heard that part?
Found out that they were money laundering, and it was because of what?
They were using the stolen credit card to purchase like bits, and they were only sending them to specific accounts. And
which was who?
Twitch, the streamers like, oh wow, this name is complicated. Mehmet Yagiz of Valorant fame, and it looks like they're from Turkey.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, makes sense. So was the streamer giving them the money back, or like what? How was it working?
I think they owned the accounts, so they were using the credit to purchase the bits, and then once they cashed out on the bits, then
you're giving it to themselves.
You're giving it to themselves, yeah. And there was 150 people involved.
It's still doing it.
Why?
Your mic keeps cutting out. That's so weird.
Do you have like a noise gate set up at certain intervals? There's a cutoff, or like a low pass filter, like something like that's.
We'll have to figure it out later.
Yeah,
we can hear most of what you're saying. I'm sorry, it just keeps cutting out. But yeah, no, that's pretty. That's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Like they had to
It's
have known
absurd.
that someone was gonna be able to. I mean, anytime you use a credit card to do anything, it's trackable.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
I don't understand why people think like this is 2022. Like we may have a hard time like keeping people from getting sick, but if you stole some digital money from somebody, it's really easy to track you
You gotta
down.
track it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand why people think that they can get away with that shit.
Yeah.
Especially through Twitch, it's like you're talking about Amazon who like they don't even care if people walk into their store and steal shit because they make enough money to cover it. Like they're gonna figure out how you got fucking would you say $10 million?
$10 million.
Yeah, they're gonna figure
Yeah.
out $10 million. That's like 2 grains of rice to them. That's important.
But that was all I had. I
That's
thought
a
that
joke
was
about how much money
interesting.
Amazon
It was- I thought that was pretty interesting when I saw that money laundering scheme.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, there was a
think,
story.
go ahead, bud.
There was a story that I had posted to our topics here that was of interest. Just because I'm a big fan of. I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. I want to say compiling things, bundling services, I guess is a good way to put it. That Samsung's new 2022 TVs are going to have, or already do have, I forget exactly when the rollout on this is, but they're going to have GeForce Now and Google Stadia baked into them. And I think if that's the shot in the arm that cloud gaming really does need is cloud gaming in and of itself is a good concept on paper, but if it's going to thrive, it needs to be in as many eyes as possible, since it lives and dies off of being a subscription service. Because predominantly they're like anyone offering cloud services, they're like Microsoft. Microsoft sells hardware, but realistically at the end of the day those barely scrape their books. Microsoft makes their money off of software, and it particularly like Microsoft 365 subscription services. That's where their money is, and cloud gaming is just like that. So Samsung integrating GeForce Now and Google Stadia into their new lines of TVs starting this year is a huge boon to that movement. Now, of course, there's arguments out there for, infrastructure may not particularly favor cloud gaming yet, so having it in front of as many people's eyes doesn't make a lick shit of difference if the people who have it in front of their eyes don't have the bandwidth to support it or have data caps that make that very unappealing to have as a service. But it's a start. So I would like to see more companies, start striking deals together to start providing services like that to have, buy this TV and you can play Vidya on them through this other service that's baked into it, because fuck yeah, you're not having to buy any extra hardware. You're already getting a TV because you wanted one. Well, now it plays the Vidya for you too. Like, just subscribe to them. You already subscribed to Netflix. Why not subscribe to GeForce Now?
Yeah. Actually, to back up what you were saying, in case you were curious, their biggest portion of their revenue actually comes from the server products and the cloud services associated with them.
Okay.
26% of their entire revenue comes from those two things.
Yeah.
And then Office and the cloud related services for Office, and then selling copies of Windows.
Yeah.
Which is surprising.
Predominantly software.
Yeah.
Because the thing is like, in terms of I would love to see a breakdown of their server hardware versus software in that 26%, because a lot of companies go with like SonicWall and Dell and things like that for their actual networking, the infrastructure solutions, but then have no choice but to go with subscription-based Microsoft services like 365. Because with Office, even like you can buy licenses of like 2019 still,
Right.
but it is very hard to. They, as you're going through the process of securing a license for 2019, you're prompted no less than 5 or 6 times. You could just do this on 365. You know that, right? You don't need an on-prem solution anymore. You could just do this with 365. Like,
Sure. Yeah. Actually, it says right here the devices that Microsoft sells, less than 5%.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like, by the way, 2% below how much gaming stuff they sell, which is kind of interesting. Gaming is it's actually right after Windows. 16% Windows, 7, almost 8% in gaming. Kind of wild. Yeah, $2,363 million a year. That was 2020. Yeah.
Still.
Pretty nutty.
It's recent enough.
Pretty nutty.
God damn. Yeah.
Well, if that's all we had, sorry.
Oh no, I didn't have anything. I was just kind of emoting at that
No,
point.
you're good. Did you have the list of
I do have several people to thank today.
All right, cool, because I'm gonna set up the raid while you do that.
Excellent. Find us a good target. So for those of you just joining us at the end of each of our Sunday podcasts, I like to throw a special shout out to our subscribers because every eye and ear on this podcast is greatly appreciated. And the subscribers that we have on Twitch, though, get us that little bit closer to the markers that we need to hit, and help support what we're doing creatively, And so I like to throw out a special shout out to our subscribers. To which I have quite a few, so we'll speedball this one while Servo finds a good raid target. We have Eden Wolf, Super Kiwi with 4 eyes in there.
Nice.
G Gurgalicious. I think I got that right. Shibby Man 3, Low Key Love All, Good King 86, Boss Hog Boston, awesome. Chevy Kid 55, Maker Plier. The Bullet Lag, Sankari, fuck, Zachary Kagiru,
Zakari, yeah,
Zakari Kagiru Shi. Thank you for the assist on that one. Y'all throwing me some curveballs this week, motherfuck. Sparkly Unicorn 1219, Dan Dangle. Sabaku Blood, Bonsai Style, Plas SC2, Nobuko 0, KD Cat 513, Latormi, Jazzerdog, Juluhani, Keno Q, Decaf, Every Level, and it's Batsy with a couple of Y's at the end, therefore the lilt on the end of the name. So that is the subscriber list that I pulled the start of the stream, which is when I pull these. We'd like to thank you and thank everyone that's listening either now or after the fact, or watching now or after the fact. Everyone involved helps us do what we love to do, and we love you for it.
Yes, we do.
And if you're curious about what Moose is talking about, watching or listening to us later, we do upload all the podcasts as soon as they're edited and ready to go up to YouTube, so you can watch them at your leisure, as well as some of the Survival Boys streams and other things like that. So make sure you check those out. You can catch us on all of our podcast outlets, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts at, you can pretty much find them. Buzzsprout, Deezer, all the good ones, and some of the ones that are not so. No, I'm kidding. And then of course, anything that you need from us, you can find on our website, remnantgamers.com, including a nice affiliate link to No Name Nerd, where you can buy some dope shirts and get a nice discount using our code RMNTGMRS, Remnant Gamers. So be sure to check us out there. We are gonna raid Jazzerdog, who Moose just mentioned a little while earlier, who you can catch on my channel, this Wednesday, he is coming to Florida and he's going to be visiting. So he and I are going to be hanging out and playing some games together. Yes, that's right. And I'm very excited about it. I think him and Batsy and I are going to be doing something cool. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be yet. I have some ideas, but I kind of want to keep it under wraps to surprise everybody. And so I'm hoping that that's going to be as good as I imagine it in my mind. And then, what about you guys? Where can we catch you guys this week?
Well, if you can hear me, I'll be streaming. I'm kind of mixing up my stream schedule a little bit right now, but I'll be this week.
God
Okay,
damn it.
cool. I swear to God, you said I'll be this week. That's what I heard.
The key details.
Every time.
Hey,
Yeah, I'll be there at exactly o'clock. Don't be late. I'll be there o'clock. Okay. See ya. Every time.
Oh my god.
And then Moose, you guys know what you're playing for Survival Boys this week?
We do not. We've got some prospects on the table. So
Well, keep
It's
it
a
locked in the
surprise.
Discord. Those of you who are interested in watching Survival Boys Wednesdays, it's usually both here and on Jono's channel. So if you're following Jono as well, make sure you go check that out. We're gonna go raid Jazzerdog. Everyone in the chat, please give Jazzerdog some appreciation. Nobuko Zero with the tier 1. Yo, what is up? Yo, where in time is John Almighty? Unfortunately, it seems he had to step away from his computer, so we've got a standby. Don't worry, we've got another Jono clone in the tank in the basement, so we'll go get him.
just
It'll be
bust him
just
out of his
fine.
tank.
That's right. Yeah. So we'll see you guys over there. Show Jazzerdog some love. Give him a follow. You know, do the thing, and we will see you guys next time. Everybody, say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.